We are living in a transition from old to new. If we look at the example of Europe, we are now having the baby boom generation going into retirement, and we have a new generation that should fill the gap. And we can see the effects of this if we look at how many people that are supporting every person in retirement. Back in 2010, we had 4 persons supporting 1 in retirement. In 2020, it will be 3. If we look ahead to 2050, it will be less than 2 persons in employment supporting 1 person in retirement. And that will create quite new challenges for us. This really means that knowledge and skills will become much more of a scarce resource than what we see today. Because the generation that is now leaving their working life are not really being replaced by new people with the right type of knowledge. We have a large generation coming in, the largest in history, but the problem is that the profile, if we look at a global scale, is not very well matched with the needs of the employers. Estimations say that by 2020, which is not too far away, we will lack 85 million skilled workers in the world.
I do meet managers who are worried about the talent mismatch and about the impending talent shortage, but I don't meet enough of them. I'm constantly surprised that I raise the question and people ask what the talent mismatch is, that they're not feeling it. To me, that says that it's going to hit them much harder than the very few I meet who are concerned about it.
Previously, we have seen that outsourcing was driven by cost reductions. In the future, we will more see that outsourcing will be a means to access the required skills.
When the shortage is as acute and severe as I predict it'll be, you're going to see companies massively change the way they construct work in their organizations. They're going to have to. So the notion of hyper-specialization is the concept of having, constructing work differently, distributing it to specialists around the world, and then bringing it back together in a single unit of work.
Here's an analogy to help you think about what's possible. If you could do with physical goods what's now possible increasingly with knowledge goods, it would be possible to eat a breakfast in Boston using an egg that had been laid in Saigon, scrambled in Beijing, salted in Sweden, and then prepared in Boston. Of course, we can't do that with physical goods, but we can with knowledge goods. I think we're about to see an explosion of this as cheap communication makes it more possible.
The latest trend is learning on demand, where we need to be able to provide the right training to the right people at the right place and at the right time. We're going from linear learning, where you look at a comprehensive training program, to modular learning, where people can go out there and just take the components that they need to learn, have them available when they need to learn it. So, I need to know something, I need to know it now, how do I go learn that?
I think education is changing dramatically and changing to competency-based education. If you look at all of these, really credible universities, MIT and Harvard collaborating to create massive online education, it's targeted at specific skills and competency. And I think as that becomes more pervasive than just a degree, that you'll start to see employers get a lot more specific about the skills that they need and start to hire from that perspective. So rather, I need a degree, I need somebody with this particular skill.
So the right training could be, someone needs technical training because there's a new product that's come out, so they need to be able to apply that technology. Or it may be that they need the business side of that, the business acumen part of that training, so they not only have the competence, they have the confidence to go present it at any level in a company.
I think the things we've been talking about here present all kinds of threats and opportunities. I think companies that aren't open to experimenting with and rapidly adapting successful new ways of organizing their work, hyper-specializing their tasks, changing the modes of interaction with workers and so forth. The companies that aren't open to these new kinds of ways of working may increasingly be left behind in the ever faster moving global economy. On the other hand, there are huge opportunities for companies to figure out how to take advantage of new ways of working enabled by new technologies. And I believe the companies that do that successfully will have a significant advantage in competing in the future.